Black Viva look like?
I think it's up. Hey! What are we doing?
Good, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Welcome everybody. My name is Giovanna and I'm the convener for today's group conference. Before I ask people to introduce themselves, I just want to firstly thank everybody here for the effort you've all made to be here today. When introducing yourself, please just state your name and in what capacity you're here. May, would you like to start?
My name's May and I am representing Tamara and Jason. I'm their legal representatives.
I'm Diane, I'm Tam's child protection worker.
Hello, I'm Lucy, I'm Tamara's grandmother.
I'm Tamara, involved with the offence.
I'm Jason, I'm involved in the offence as well.
I'm Tom, I'm Jason's father.
Hi, I'm Senior Constable Kerry Mulligan and I'm the informant in this matter.
Hi, I'm Christiana. I'm from the Victim Support Agency and I'm here today to support the victims.
I'm Sam and I own the supermarket just down the road.
Kerry?
Hi, I'm Mick from Mick Jones Motors.
Hi, I'm Carol. I'm Mick's wife.
Thank you. The purpose of today's group conference is to assist Jason and Tamara to understand further the impact of their offending on the victims, on the wider community and on others, to support them to reduce their likelihood of reoffending and to negotiate with an outcome plan that they can both agree to that will give them the opportunity to take responsibility for their actions and also make reparation. Now, I've spoken to people about how the group conference will proceed today, but I'll just run through that quickly again with everybody present. Firstly, people will have an opportunity to talk about what has happened, to tell their story. They'll also have an opportunity to express how they've been affected by what has happened, and then to make some contributions, some suggestions to what needs to happen now. Once we've developed an outcome plan, both Jason and Tamara will meet in private with the people that are here to support them with an opportunity to develop that plan, taking into consideration what people have proposed. Then we will reconvene to discuss that plan further within the group until we reach an agreement. Any questions at all at this moment about the process? There are two rules which I ask people to be respectful of throughout the duration of the group conference. Firstly, that everybody feels safe, but both emotionally and physically, to be able to talk about what's important to them freely and express their true feelings. I also ask people to respect people's confidentiality and privacy, so that what is said in this room stays in this room. The only issues that I will document in a court report will be those issues that relate to the offending and also how the offending behaviour will be addressed. Is everyone in agreement with these rules? Kerry, can you start by giving a summary of the offences?
Yep, on the morning of the incident, I spoke to Tamara and Jason about theft of a trolley, theft of 4 radios, theft of motor car, unlicensed driving and burglary.
But who would like to start first?
I'll go.
Okay. Jason, in your own words, and as you remember it, and if you can start from the beginning of that evening, could you share with the group what happened?
Me and Tam were out at a house party and we had a bit to drink and we left and we were up all night and found a trolley and Tam was tired, so I was pushing her in the trolley and then we came across this car yard.
And then what happened?
We went past the car yard and I saw that there was no one else. It looked like it was vacant, like no one else was in there, and I decided that we'd go in and I knocked the door open and found the stereos, the radios, and I took the radios and took the keys and
I took the key.
well, and then I just took the car. Then we drove out of the car yard and must have been driving pretty. I don't know, probably speeding. It wasn't long until the officer pulled us over and then took us back to the station.
Tamara, what do you recall about what you did on that evening?
Well, it's all pretty much as Jason said, with the drinking and the trolley, except for I decided to go into the car yard because I saw it was empty. And Jason did break in, but I found the keys and I took the keys and found the car and drove it off out of the car yard, and then we drove up the road a little bit, but I think I must have been like swerving because I was drunk, and that's when the constable pulled us over. We went to the station and they called in Nan, but she couldn't come, so Diane came down. And then we were interviewed, and I think we got home later that night.
Jason, who do you think's been affected by what's happened?
Just I know everyone that was here today. Mick and his wife, I know their car yard and that, because we stole the car, and Sam, the trolley that we stole, and I don't know.
Tamara, who do you think's been affected by what's happened?
Well, as we were told that their business is now going to be jeopardised with the insurance, and not to mention that they're really stressed out about it all, and they don't know if they still want to even go on with it because they've been broken into a couple of times now. And it's really affected them, and I had no intention of hurting anybody when it happened, so I really didn't think. I feel bad.
Do you remember what you were thinking at the time?
Well, after all of this happened, I thought it was just like a bad dream, and I wish that none of it ever happened, and that it was all so hazy I couldn't remember all the details even clearly, and I felt so unlucky, like I just...
What do you mean you're unlucky?
I just meant unlucky to have been in this situation, and I felt like the next day that it was like a bad dream, and I just wish it didn't happen.
Jason, what do you think now about what's happened?
Just, I know it was stupid what happened, and it just caused, I don't know, so much trouble for everyone.
Mick, how did you first find out about what had happened?
I'd had a phone call from a customer who was bought a car and had a problem with an immobiliser, and he was only just down the road. So I thought I'd go for 10-15 minutes to help him out, get the car started for him. So I'd only been out for 15 minutes max, I suppose. So I didn't lock up the car yard completely. I just locked up the office and didn't lock up the gates. When I come back, the door was open, and I noticed the car missing. I mean, I haven't got that many. So it was just one of those sort of things. I saw everything, the office all messed up. There was glass all over the ground. The radios were gone. They didn't find them. They broke in and stole them. It was one of those things where sort of got there, and then I rang Carol, and we called the police.
And how did you feel when you first found out what had happened?
Frustrated, annoyed. I mean, we've been in business for a couple of years now, and that's the fifth time we've been broken into in 2 years. And it's one of those, I mean, it's a business that's built on sort of customer service and trust, and every time people drive past and see the police at our business, I mean, it erodes the confidence that they have in us, in our ability to like sell cars and stuff. I mean, they must just think I'm a shonk with the police being there all the time. And I mean, the insurance it covers some of it, but it never covers everything. It never covers the time that we spend. I mean, it only ever covers the parts and the broken things, but not our time or our sort of trust in what we do.
And how have you been affected by what has happened?
No, it's just really disheartening, I suppose. I mean, we're not real sure how we can keep going on. We don't make a huge amount of money out of it. We're not. It goes all right, but we struggle to make ends meet. I mean, it's not like we're rich or anything. I mean, we're just a small car yard. And I've struggled in a bit in the sleeping and thinking about whether this is the way we want to go, whether I should just go back to being a mechanic, working for somebody else. I mean, it's certainly a lot easier in terms of stress and not having to worry about things. I mean, I was also worried, because sometimes Carol's there by herself. And, I mean, if these people had broken in while she was there by herself, what would she have done, or what would they have done to her? I mean, it's not just about the damage itself. I mean, you worry about what could have happened if she'd have been there.
Mick, does it really matter if it was planned or not, whether it was premeditated or whether it was on the spur?
Well, it does, sort of. I mean, I was a young fella once, so I know what it's like to do something on the spur of the moment. But, I mean, if it was planned and they were just sort of sitting out there waiting and watching, waiting for me to leave, I mean, it shows that they're sort of more calculating about what they were going to do rather than just sort of a spur of the moment, silly decision when you've had a few too many.
We didn't go out and decide we wanted to hurt anyone, or just had no idea that just our actions just...
And we didn't plan it.
No.
We didn't plan it.
Stupid and just thoughtless. Really.
Carol, do you recall how you first found out about what had happened?
Well, I was taking my child to kindergarten, and Mick gave me a call, and it was like I couldn't believe it had happened again. You know, that it's been this is the fifth time that it's happened since we've had the business, and it's just like you walk in and the door's smashed in, there's glass everywhere, all the stuff's, all over the show. It's like an invasion. It's like I just couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it had happened again. And every time the phone rings, you think, is it, what's... The mobile goes off and I'm thinking, what's happened? It's like I've...
Sam, what would you like to say about the theft of the trolley?
I found out that there'd been this problem because Mick brought my trolley back. And lots of kids take trolleys, they think they're having fun with them, but we got to get them back. It costs us money, it costs us time. I've been in this game for a long while and it's not getting any easier. And like Mick, sometimes I think I've just got to give up.
Christiana, what would you like to say about what's happened?
I work as a victim support officer and I speak to victims of crime on a daily basis. So I'm very aware how actions such as yours make victims feel. And what Carol and Mick and Sam have been describing are very common reactions to a crime like this one. Carol was describing that she's feeling very anxious lately and wondering what's going to be there when she gets to work. And that's something that's a very common reaction that victims have. They can experience anxiety and anger after something like this.
Lucy, how did you first find out what had happened?
I was out shopping and I came home and found a message on the telephone and saying that Tamara was down at the police station. It was horrible. It was frightening. This is not like her. She's a really good girl. I've known her all her life.
And how have you been affected by what's happened?
I get really worried. I don't think she should be with Jason, and I get really worried about her going out and, this drinking that I didn't know was going on, and, I think maybe it's not good for her to be with Jason.
Tom, how did you first find out what had happened?
Well, I was on a run down to Geelong when I got the call on my mobile that Jason was with the police. I mean, I couldn't get out of what I was doing, so I actually had to call my sister in, and she had to go down. She had to go down to the police. Yeah, so it was all very much of a rude shock. I mean, he's been in strife before, but I thought that was just a one-off. And now for this to happen, I mean, it really does make me think. It does make me question what's going on.
Diane, is there anything you'd like to add?
And I think it has been a bit of a wake-up call for Tam. Would like to acknowledge that I think you've done really well coming here to the conference today. Tam and I have talked about some things that we can try to work together on in the next, sort of 4 to 6 months, and I'm definitely hopeful or optimistic that things will continue to improve from here.
May, what would you like to say at this stage?
I think that the fact that you've expressed regret and remorse has been a really important thing that you've contributed today. You've acknowledged that you've done some things that were wrong, but being here today demonstrates, I think, your level of remorse.
Jason, having heard what everyone's had to say at this stage and how they've been affected by what's happened, what would you like to say to everyone?
Just really, really sorry for all the damage, really sorry for all the damage that I've caused for the business, and I had no idea that it caused that much chaos in your lives and stuff like that, so yeah, I'm really sorry it won't happen again.
Tamara, what would you like to say to everyone?
I'd just like to say to Mick and Carol how sorry that I am for everything that has happened to you and your business, and I didn't even think about any of this before it happened or plan any of it out, and it wasn't intentional